Hey, 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 welcome into another episode of the Halos in the Infield but Ducks post-game show. I'm your host, Todd Fox, as we get it started on a Thursday evening. Hope all is well, as it wasn't well for the Ducks tonight, and Husan, whatever. The Ducks did not Husso the goal enough tonight as they lose 5-2. And we'll get into that, how the Ducks went out on a whimper after 2 nights ago having that extremely exciting, fun, come from behind, last second, literally tie at the end of regulation, then go into overtime, have a great overtime period where both teams almost won it in overtime, and then having the shootout. But tonight's game was vastly different as they lose 5-2. 3 goals early really set the tone for the Islanders as they got it going, and the Ducks just couldn't rebound from that. And on this one, you had a lot of second chance, you know, plays by the Islanders, a lot of open looks, a lot of traffic in front of the net as well when it came to the Islanders trying to pressure. But they did have a few open looks that were just bothersome. You had some tip-ins. The first period really did not go as well as they expected it, and obviously being down 3-0, you would expect the team to roll over and die and just be like, okay, we didn't get them tonight. Let's get at them the next night and kind of just play through, try to keep it close, try to pressure, and that wasn't the case. The Ducks put up a pretty good fight the rest of the way, actually clawing back into the game 3-2 after a shorthanded goal in the third period. And you had about 17 minutes to get that equalizer, and it just never happened. The Islanders were able to get a pretty goal late in the game to push the game away from the Ducks in all actuality for a comeback. And then they would add on and yet another goal just to rub insult to injury right there and put the game away. But it was one of those things where it's like, okay, you're not going to win every game going forward. And we get that as fans. But when the Ducks play this good and for this long into the season, you're going to get a little greedy. And I've gotten a little greedy with this whole team because I feel that they could be even better than what they are, but they're going to maturate. They're going to get better as they go along. But for me, I'm loving the fact that the Ducks are being able to pressure and they're able to put the puck on net, and they're going to continue to get better. Trust me, they really will. And it's just for a like I said, as a fan, I want this team to be very greedy and take advantage of any opportunities that they can get moving forward. And I think they've got the right kind of stuff to hang. Like, obviously, this many games into the season, you're now looking at what is it? They're now 31 games into the season. 10 more games will be at the halfway point, and you're sitting there at 19-11 and 1, and they look really good. This team can pretty much go square up with any team in the league right now, and I'm predicting that they're gonna set themselves up in that top 4 tier if they keep playing like this the rest of the season. And you'll see a team like the Ducks hosting a post-game first round, and it should be fun. But with that being said, again, you can't win them all. But tonight's game is exactly what you're going to see from time to time. But the thing is, the way that the Ducks have been playing, they've been playing 4 out of 5 really good games, and you were due for that fifth game being a letdown, and this one kind of was a letdown because as we go through the goal scoring here tonight, you had Travis Mitchell get his first ever goal, assisted by Simon Holstrom and Scott Mayfield. Assist 6 for Holstrom, 4th for Mayfield. It was 1-0 New York Islanders. And then Anders Lee scored his 7th on the power play from Tony Delangelo. And Simon Holstrom gets his 7th assist. It was 2-0 just 10 minutes into the game. And that's the thing with the Ducks here, because, again, they've been avoiding the bad penalties. They have not really been getting their due of their own penalties. I think before this game, I think they've had more. They've been on the defense and the power play more than they have been on the offense, because they've had more penalties called against them. Not at the rate of the previous 2 seasons, but at a nice clip this year where they haven't been getting the benefit of the calls yet. And I think as the team continues to win, they'll start getting the refs calling things in their favor. That's just how it is. That's the human aspect of hockey. And you have to win, you have to earn that respect, even of the refs. I know it's not right. I know it shouldn't be, but that's how it is. Anders Lee would add a third goal as the time was expiring in the first period to make it 3-0. Yet again, another power play goal by the Islanders. It was Anders Lee, eighth of the night, or eighth of the season, I should say. Second of the first period. Assist from D'Angelo again. D'Angelo, his 12th, and then Matthew Barzy gets his 15th of the season, and it's 3-0. And again, 3-0 in hockey is a lot. So the fact that they jumped out to a big lead right there, you're thinking to yourself, crap, we're in trouble. This is going to be a long night, blah, 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 blah. But the Ducks would get a goal from my man, Dominique's favorite player, Uncle Leo Carlson's 17th. And my guy, Scary Terry, would give the assist, his 24th of the season, to make it a 3-1 game. And yeah, we could play the horn for that. And then Troy Terry, in just 2 minutes in on a into the second or third period, I should say, and about 30 seconds into the power play, Troy Terry would get a nice pass after a steal by Ryan Folling, and the another assist from Lacombe, who made the steal. Lacombe, Ryan found Terry streaking on the right side, coming right at the goalie, and he scored the goal off of Rittich to make it 3-2. And at that point, I'm like, I was at the dinner table, and when Scary Terry scored, I'm like, yeah. So I get down, hunker down, have my snacks ready, having a drink, and I'm thinking, we're gonna tie this baby up, dude. It feels like a game that we're gonna go to overtime, and either we're gonna get a pity point in a loss in a shootout, or we're gonna win this mother effer. And I was all in, man. I was like, let's do this, man. I'm feeling it from the other night, and I'm thinking we're going to see something crazy again. But lightning did not strike twice so far on this road trip, because just 3.5 minutes later, Holstrom scores his 6th of the season, and that would assist from Lee and Pete Pijech, and it was 4-2. And he got like a really nice pass, went 1-on-1, went around the defender, and then went stick side to glove side. The butterfly effect by Husso trying to make the save, but he couldn't quite extend his leg far enough, and the goal squirted through on his glove side to make it 4-2. And then Ryan Pollock scores a goal, his first of the season, from Pagnu and Anders Lee to make it 5-2. And Anders Lee had a 5-point night tonight. He almost had the hat trick. He missed a wide open net. So that's the kind of night it went. So, at least for a good portion of this game, the Ducks had every opportunity to win it, and they had an opportunity to take the game, or at least send it to overtime, or at least tie. They had their opportunities tonight, but they fall just short to the Islanders tonight. I mean, it looks like a blowout, but it really wasn't. Shots in favor of the Islanders, 37-33. The hits were at 20-15. Penalty minutes, again, that's what killed the Ducks, and the Islanders went 2 for 4 on the power play, and that was the difference in the game tonight. You also, again, only 2 minutes. There's got to be more penalties than that. Unfortunately, Ducks did not get any to go in their favor. Went 0 for 1 in the power play, and with that loss tonight, and Vegas winning earlier, they have now tied the Ducks for first place in the Pacific Division. Also, another thing that, again, if you're going to look for the Ducks to improve at the trade deadline, maybe a goaltender Husson's not bad, but obviously you have Dostal and you have Mrazek. So, but there's injury, things with both those guys. I'm looking for a guy who's going to win a faceoff, who's really, really good on the faceoff. They're going to have to pick up a guy that's going to be interchangeable for when they do need a good possession to stay in their zone. He can be the guy to get that nice, what do you call it? The poke check, and he win the face off and keep the possession with the Ducks, because they've been getting beat on a regular basis on faceoffs, and that's something that the Ducks desperately need. Demetro chiming in with Ducks cleanup against the Rangers. I predict a 6-1 thumping. You know, they got. I'm hoping, or the Devils. He said, I'm hoping that they're able to do that because it would be nice to keep the W's coming. If you're going to be that upper echelon team, you're going to be that top four team in the Pacific division and also in just the West in general. You gotta do your thing, man. You got to get out there and you got to play at a high level, and you can't let a loss like this affect you and get into a losing streak. You got to fire back and win 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, stuff like that. And the Ducks have done that. Other than that 3 games set earlier in the year where they kind of went scoreless, took some losses there. They've been pretty good. They rebounded pretty good. So I'm hoping that they can continue to do that right there. Demetra also says, and we really need to improve our third line after the top 2 lines were dry as hell tonight. And that's where you get a nice little fallback. If you got that good third line scoring, you got a good checking line, that helps with a team moving forward. That helps on nights where the main guys aren't getting the job done for whatever reason. So that leaves us now with checking out the 3 stars of the game. And let's get into that. It won't be Dominic's 3 stars. It'll be my Todd Fox 3 stars of the game. Well, the Ducks did not get the job done tonight, and usually in a loss, you can't give all 3 stars to the Ducks. On a win, where you can kind of get away with it and show your biased opinion, which we try not to be biased, but we tell it how it is. And in a loss, I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to say, hey, these are the guys that got the job done tonight. And I guess my number 3 star would be David Rittich. He did a good job tonight, 31 saves. Stopped quite a few good shots there by the Ducks. Ducks had some opportunities in this game to put the puck in the net, just couldn't get it done. Some really nice saves there by Rittich as he bailed out the Islanders' mediocre defense and helped the Islanders win tonight. 2nd star, okay, I lied. I'm going to give you a little biased. I'm going to give you some Troy Terry. I got it. Scary Terry's got to get some sort of love from the show here tonight with me doing a solo. He's my favorite player. Troy Terry had a shorthanded goal, which got the Ducks back into the game, and they were right there. He also added an assist with Leo Carlson's goal. It just seems like look, it might be a little sacrilegious to some of you hardcore Ducks fans, but it's not on the level of Solani Korea. Because I remember looking at the box score all the time or watching a game, and it was like Solani to Korea, Korea to Solani, and Ruchin in the middle. Those guys would share points all the time, right? And it seemed like one would score unless they had a breakaway. One could not score without the other one giving an assist, or Ruchin, pumping in an assist as well. So those days are gone, obviously. But it seems like the new days, not on the scoring level that the dynamic duo did, but a seemingly good dynamic duo in its own right is Leo Carlson and Troy Terry. It's like they go hand in hand, man. These guys go back and forth of giving each other assists, scoring goals. It's really good to see, and we're seeing a lot of that. But Troy Terry gets your 2nd star. And by far the 1st star of the game is Anders Lee. He came 1 shot away from getting a hat trick in his 5th point of the game. He had 2 goals and 2 assists. So you got to give him the star of the game as he played his ass off here tonight. And the Ducks get the win, or Ducks get the win. Ducks get the loss, but he helped his Islanders with 2 goals and 2 assists to get that win tonight. Now, let's see. Let's go over to I want to say I gotta pick a hoser. I gotta pick a hoser, and I'm kind of like trying to think of who is the hoser of the night. The easy one to go to when you give up 5 goals and 32 saves, still not bad. And again, Husso's doesn't have too much experience, didn't do that bad of a job. So I'm not gonna screw over the goalie like that. But I have to look at Kreider. Okay. Kreider had a -1 tonight. He had 4 shots, but he had a critical penalty, which again, it was a dumb penalty. I think it was a hook, and again, it was like, it just seems like in certain games the Ducks do, they go back to what kept them bad for the last few years. And I know it's a work in progress. They've cleaned up a lot, but it still gets me sometimes when they get these dumb little penalties that they can avoid. I'm sure I'm missing one of them. I don't think Kreider's per se led to a goal, but it was a momentum killer. Because anytime you go from skating at even strength, going back and forth, trying to collect the puck, trying to move the puck in the zone, and then you give up a stupid penalty, you take all the momentum away and you're back on your heels. And I think that's what one of the things that happened tonight. You had a couple weak penalties, like hockey's changed a little bit, but it's really been you used to be able to hit harder and get away with a lot more. We just talked about this the other night. Eric Lindros would never have gotten those concussions and taken those kind of just out of this world hits from the Quebec Nordiques, or not the Quebec Nordiques. When he was on the Avalanche, I think he took him from the Detroit. What is it? I was going to call them Pistons, Red Wings, but and also I think when he was with Philly too, he took some hits, man. That dude endured some hits. But listen, right now the Ducks are doing the best that they can with the goaltending they got, but there's little things like that, those penalties to take momentum away, have to be cleaned up a little bit more or focused in on. And I'm sure Coach Q will get him going. But again, there was things, you know, there was things to be impressed by tonight, and that was the stick handling. I thought that they kept the puck in their zone a lot by making smart passes, by having guys knowing where they're at. And again, these guys had a lot of off-season practice to where they know where each other is going to be on the ice at all times, it seems. And when they make these cuts, when they know that the guy's going to make a run, whether it's hand gesturing, whether it's eye contact, whether it's just knowing your fellow teammates' tendencies on the ice, these guys do a hell of a job. And I've been very, very, very impressed because we're not seeing too many of these long 2-3 line passes go off of skates or miss guys in general. I think that I only counted like 2 or 3 of those tonight, to where you had errant passes in their zone. For the most part, these guys have been clean as hell. These guys have been skating very, very in just so cohesive. Like they know where they're at, and it's been very impressive. So I think that's a testament to Coach Q. And it's only going to help as we move along, because there's a lot of teams in this league that are not at the level to where the Ducks are. And again, this is something where I've seen a few other Ducks, content guys like Kyle from Locked On Ducks, which I, implore you guys to check out here on YouTube. And he talks about how the Ducks they're a different team. They've done such a better job at a lot of, their deficiencies over the season, and that their window is opening. And that's scary for the league. I've seen a lot of videos saying the Ducks did things right when they were laughed at for drafting Beckett Senek and all these other guys. They were looked at like, oh, they're taking reaches. All of a sudden, everyone can see the writing on the wall. They could see the stars that are, forming in front of them. And this team is gaining confidence. And when the goaltending comes back and we get healthy, it's going to be even scarier for the league. This team could be good for quite some time. And we're just seeing the beginning of the maturation, and that's the most exciting part as an Anaheim fan. So I say that in all wellness, mentioning it because you got to take the good with the bad, and you got to remind yourself how good this team is, which, they're going to have a night like this or two where you take a bad loss, you take one on the chin, but you fought back. I know that I'm not a believer at all in moral victories, but I will say that you got to kind of feel good that they didn't let this game turn into a 5-0 game or a 6-1 game. You know, they were right there, one shot away at 3-2, and they just things did not work out. And that's the way the puck goes sometimes. So again, take the good with the bad. And let's shake it off like Taylor Swift says. And let's take a shot at our upcoming next game, which is in New Jersey on Saturday, a 9:30 in the morning game time start. Devils, that's an early one. It'll be on NHL.net. So you got the Ducks and Devils there. And then let's see, I'll check out the full schedule, give you the remaining games on the road trip, and then we'll bid farewell for the night. So they go to New York after that to take on the Rangers on Monday, and then they come. Then we'll be at the watch party the next night. If you guys don't know, it's going to be at Noble L Works. We're going to be back over there to watch the Columbus Blue Jackets hosting our Ducks on the final game of the 5-game road trip. That is a 4:00 start next Tuesday, and hopefully the Ducks can get that win, and we can have a good, good night, and then we'll have another watch party January 16th against the Kings. So you got a couple of those coming up. So if you're a Ducks fan, you want to come out, celebrate, hang out with us, watch the Ducks, and have some discounted beers by using our code HITI. And in the promotion, just tell them Halos in the infield, and they'll give you 10% off a drink right there. And I think they have 2-for-1 specials too during the game. So if you're there for the watch party, the beers are even cheaper. And then you have obviously you'll have some wings, or you'll have some food there on hand on next Tuesday. So it's gonna be fun for everybody. I'm hoping to see you there next Tuesday for the Ducks and Columbus Blue Jackets. Should be fun. That's for damn sure. I think that's all I got for tonight. And then we'll talk more, like I said, on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon. Or I'm sorry, I'm skipping ahead. Uh, yeah, Saturday, no, Thursday. Wait, I'm all mixed up here. They lost tonight. It was Thursday. Yeah, Saturday. This week has been killer at work, so that's why I don't even know what day it is. So Saturday against New Jersey, 12:30 or so, 1:00. It'll but probably be me and Dom. We'll be on here doing the post game show, interacting with you. Hopefully after another Ducks victory, and then like I said, we'll catch you Monday, and then the second night of a back to back, we'll do the Columbus Blue Jackets live watch party from Noble Ale Works. We'll probably be broadcasting on here if you can't make it, but we implore you to make it because we're going to have food, prizes, giveaways, and things to buy as merch, as we have several Ducks pages that will be on hand, and we're going to have a couple guest stars there too. So hopefully everybody can come out and support. Demetrio says Vitrino and Grunland had been complete ass. Killorn and Strome too. Of late, they have not been getting in the point scoring. Jesus says, yes, definitely need to move away from those players. Might need to add some more D-men as part of a trade package. And I appreciate you guys here tonight, Jesus and Demetrio and everyone else watching. As we got 37 people live right now. We had between the two pages, and then we had the other night we had like over 100. So that was our top show, having over 100 people on in the last Ducks game versus Penguins. So with that being said, everybody have a good rest of your night, and we'll see you back here Saturday afternoon for brunch and hopefully a Ducks victory, shall we? Have a good night, everybody, and we fly together.